Love letting that breathe. Best intro music of a podcast you've never heard of, there is. Guaranteed. We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Finally. Come join us, hang out, get in the chat. Everybody that was probably going to be in the chat has already decided they've got better plans for the evening, but you know what? It happens.
Hey, we're still here.
So, we talked all sorts of things already. Pinky had a story time. He rubbed Kansas winning in my face. Carolina did not get it done. No, yeah, I mean, you were gentle for the most part.
I am drinking Champions Blend Broncos whiskey because, KU's the champ. So, it is what it is. Just keep throwing it in there. It's fine. Dude, it only happens like every 15 years or so. Like, let me enjoy it a little.
I mean, I can't stand Kansas. Can't stand them. And it has nothing to do with basketball. It has everything to do with the old Big 8 in Nebraska football.
I don't like North Carolina or Duke basketball, so it's all fair.
Why don't you like Carolina basketball?
I've never liked Carolina basketball. Ever.
Well, I'm not asking you to like
pretty much when Roy Williams left for North Carolina, I was like, you traitor, and I was done with it. I was done with North Carolina.
Oh, so it wasn't always. It was just because your coach went to a better program. The one he started at.
I mean,
it's that crab mentality, man. Are you a hater?
I see how it is.
I'm a hater. I'm fine with it. I know my place.
Oh, goodness.
We talked a little Masters.
Yeah, Masters, you've kind of killed that conversation by now. Tiger Woods is coming back. Congratulations. Go watch it. Although I will say, par 3 tournament is tomorrow. First time it's been back in 2 years. Friends, family, crowd, everything's back.
Do they televise that?
Yeah, they do. And it's really fun to watch because it's a specific par 3 course that's at Augusta National. They'll have their kids caddying for them. They'll have different people take shots throughout the day. There's a hole where they try to skip it off the water onto the green. And it's just a really cool, fun event to watch. Not like any other golf you would see. It is entertaining the whole time. Most of the guys are mic'd up, so you get to hear some commentary throughout the day and stuff too. So if you don't really like watching golf, but you want to check something out tomorrow, it's during the day. It's not at night. It's not going to interfere with your regular broadcasts. I highly recommend it. ESPN will be covering it. I think they start coverage at like 1:30 in the afternoon Mountain Time. But it's always fun to watch. Very family-friendly atmosphere for the par 3 tournament. And then Masters starts Thursday through Sunday, and we'll see who comes out on top this year. I'll be watching.
I'm just curious if Tiger is going to have like PTSD when he gets in the golf cart. You know what I mean? Oh.
They don't have golf carts.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got to walk.
You got to walk.
Oh, man.
Part of that being an athlete.
Sure.
Well, no, it's part of the tradition of the game.
I mean, yeah, but
They didn't have golf carts in 1922.
Oh.
That's the.
They also didn't have any of those clubs they have now. But whatever.
No, wood sticks and feather balls, but there's still golf.
Or they're nice Nikes or, whatever. Just saying. Whatever.
Act like everything hasn't evolved.
PTSD then when he grabs his driver? I don't know. Give me something.
We'll see. But it should be I'm interested to there hasn't been one name that's considered the front runner this year. So it will be interesting to see how the tournament plays out. Masters always has a great storyline at some point. So I'm always going to pay attention. So we'll see what happens.
I will be at a bar on Sunday, so I'll probably get to see the finish. I'm assuming the bar will have the.
I mean, how late are you staying to the bar?
So I'll just do a quick shout out to a friend of mine. More of one of Andy's best friends. He passed away a week or two ago, and we're doing kind of a memorial gathering at the bar at 2:00. R.I.P. Sean. Sean was a good guy. Gamer, video games. If there was anything on Netflix, he's watched it. Good guy. Sad to see him go, but I will be at the bar on Sunday, so I'll probably see it.
Well, that's I was asking what time you're going because Masters won't end until about 5.
Yeah, 2:00.
So you'll probably be at the bar catching.
I saw the Masters last year. Imagine that.
Good for you. That was a
2
good
years in a row.
last year. Hideki Matsuyama came out and
2 years in a row. Who would have thought?
There is so the Masters is nothing but tradition. Augusta National, You have to be a member or invited by a member to even play that course. Very aristocratic, good old boy, old school club type mentality. And they've gotten a lot of flack for it over the years, and they've evolved a little bit here and there. But one of the really cool traditions they do is the winner from the previous year, they host a dinner the Monday. It's the Sunday or the Monday before the Masters. I can't remember right now. And the previous year's winner gets to choose the menu.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
So, it's always going to be something different every year. It's not going to be the same old, same old. So Hideki came out this year and he did appetizers of like chicken skewers or something with the like yakitori style kind of thing. I don't know how else to describe it. It's probably not even Japanese. And if it is, great. I hit that on the head. Sushi, he did some blackened cod and some yuzu sauce kind of thing. And
Getting hungry, man. Thanks.
right?
No, man.
But it was cool
Love
because
it.
it's a very different menu than the Masters has ever had. And that's what's really cool about that tradition is depending on who wins is going to come out and set that menu. So
That's dope.
I always thought that was a really cool tradition that they hold to every year.
So, being that you probably know the Masters more than I do, is it correct to say that if you've won the Masters, you get like an automatic bid to play?
Lifetime.
Okay, that's
You
what
get
I
to play
thought.
in that tournament lifetime.
Because I was like, wait, Tiger hasn't done shit this year, so for him to just show up and play the Masters,
you have
that's
an
what I
open
figured.
invitation to be in it every year if you want to for the rest of your life. Some guys do it every year. Some guys take a year off here and there if they're not playing well. But it's very rare that you don't see a previous winner in the field again.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's another kind of cool thing is you don't ever have to qualify again. You win and you're in.
Yeah, that rehab invitational. You know what I mean?
This guy.
Which rehab are we speaking of?
Is it
Pretty sure Tiger's had a couple.
two-timer then, huh?
Well, when we trying one of my smooth transitions, they don't go very well for me.
Especially when you tell
When we talk
people
about
transitions coming up.
qualifying, and I think one of our sports teams did qualify for something recently, didn't they, Caleb?
Another slightly sore subject. Yes, USMNT made the World Cup. Thank the Lord. But they backed their ass into it. They couldn't come out and smoke Costa Rica the way they should have. They lose to Costa Rica, but because of goal differential, they still made it in. They did do it though. The hope at the light at the end of the tunnel, however you want to discuss it. I'm gonna punch this guy in the face. Is such that 3 of their top young talent guys did not play. So they've still got some real weapons to come up and play with them from the tournament once that kicks off. Now, the tournament is normally held in the summer. It's not being held until November. Thanksgiving actually is when it kicks off, I do believe, this year. Because it's played in Qatar, however you want to say it.
There's a Q in there, man. I know what the military guys say, but there's a Q in there.
Yeah.
Well, they pronounce it that way because that's how the locals pronounce. So, Q's can be K's. The English language and letters are amazing the way they can be. I mean, Y's or I's,
did you
dude.
just-
Let's
so-
be honest here.
I may have had a drink or two. Did you just say November?
Yes,
The World Cup
because
is in November?
it's in Qatar, and it's the temperatures summertime are 120 to 125.
Yeah, it's hot as shit.
So they're moving it to November, so it can be 100, 105. All the stadiums are going to be indoor. They've got these huge, the airport air conditioned like little vents that
Yeah.
are above you. They've got those along the walls of every stadium field level with these big old nozzles just waiting to blast onto the field to hope to cool it down enough on the field. I think they're hoping to get the fields down to about 85, 80 if they're lucky. Look, the FIFA is corrupt as all hell. The only thing more corrupt than FIFA is the Olympics and the NCAA. So,
I mean, and FIFA would give them a run for their money.
yeah, absolutely. But, you pay enough, you'll win the bid, regardless of what the vote was.
That's just
So
hot as
that's
hell,
basically what happened. There was a lot of people not happy about it. A lot of people thought it was a sham, but they're gonna let it go down, regardless of any human rights issues or anything else as well.
Humans have rights?
Don't fly any rainbows over there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Uh,
Especially from the 5th floor. You know what I mean?
Also, don't drink any alcohol. A lot of things that are going to be a little bit different over there.
Don't you show off that face of yours?
Hopefully, Mega Rapinoe is not going to be over there watching the game. Let's say that much, probably. But I'm excited. I think the U.S. got an amazing draw. England, Iran, and I'm drawing a blank on the fourth team in their group. But England hasn't been dominant the way they used to be. And a lot of people are already picking them to win that group. But I don't think it's a given. I do think it's a given that England and the U.S. should come out of that group. So they should get to the round of 16. So it'll be fun to watch, especially, like I said, with this young talent that they have. We're looking at a 12-year run here. And really, the next World Cup and the one after that, if this group stays together, are going to be the ones where their age, their talent, their skill and everything has finally gotten to the maximum, if you will. So this is kind of a trial run to see what they can do right now. And honestly, if they get out of the group and get to the round of 16, that's a win.
They're going to be on directly during football season. I don't know about this, man. I don't know. I usually like going and watching a couple games and hanging out with
You'll be at my
buddies.
place watching some games.
I mean, not if football's on, though.
Yeah, even if football's on, because this is football.
No, this is football.
He's like, doesn't sound like I'll be at your place watching any games.
You'll be over at my place watching some games.
If
At least the U.S. games.
Maybe they should play on Saturday. Then I'll cool with that. Don't play on Sunday. Don't mess up my NFL Sunday.
I love that it's during football because I'll have nonstop sport. Nonstop sport. It'll be amazing. So yeah.
That's right,
US,
Cody. Scotland. That's what I'm talking about.
Good luck, Cody. They ain't gonna do nothing. Nothing.
Don't you mess with my clan. Scotland's gonna do something.
They're not gonna. Are they even in the tourney?
I don't know. Cody said they are. Cody's commenting.
I haven't gone through the entire field yet because it's not until
Cody's
November.
a smart guy. I trust him.
There's still some other tournaments that are going to happen before this in local areas and things of that nature. So I haven't even really looked at the full draw yet. But from what I did go through briefly, real quick, there is no real group of death this year. Group of death is usually the one where it's like, dang, that group is stacked and it's going to be amazing to see who comes out of it. There's not really one of those this year, which is odd. That's usually one of the first things everybody looks for. So the fact that there really doesn't have one of those existing at this point in time, and the U.S. got such a great draw with who they get to go against, it's going to be pretty cool to watch. So,
awesome.
As it gets closer, I'll have more to speak about, come October.
We have some time from the sounds of it.
There's still a lot to happen.
And we'll be full in on NFL mode by then. Speaking of Cody, and Cody's one of our NHL experts, I like to call him. So breaking news, Avalanche became the second team to clinch a playoff berth tonight, winning 6-4.
They're looking at being the President's Trophy winner for the second year in a row, which doesn't usually fare well for
it doesn't normally bode well for teams, but the Avs are one of the few teams that, man, they can put up 6-7 goals on anybody.
They're loaded. The Avs are loaded.
They are stacked. Again, anything short of a Stanley Cup is a disappointment.
Look, I don't know a lot about hockey this year. Haven't followed it as closely as I used to, but I do know the Avs are loaded, and I believe it's Florida out in the East is really good.
Yeah.
So be interesting to see. But, dude, hockey's playoffs aren't for like another 3 weeks. So I'm not even close to getting into the mode yet.
We will be in NFL draft mode when the season finally ends. And 29th is the last game.
I'll be full on
Disney mode.
Disney mode and NBA playoffs. So what's this breaking news you got over there?
Blake Bortles got released.
Yeah, we saw that coming.
Oh,
he asked for his release,
but they said Andy Dalton.
They signed Andy Dalton to be the backup to Jameis Winston.
Dude, I would take Blake Bortles over Andy Dalton for sure.
I mean, let's be honest. The Saints were Sean Payton. The Bensons are not good owners. I don't care what anybody says. They own the Pelicans and the Saints, and neither organization has done anything. The only reason the Saints were good is because of Sean Payton.
So we're going to get to that in a moment, Aaron. I'm not done talking about Colorado sports yet. Not yet.
Okay.
So congrats to the Avs. Hopefully they make it to the Stanley Cup. On the other side, NBA, 3 games left. It's almost done. Playoffs are starting up.
I'll give us a playoff rundown next week.
Caleb's going to get super excited. I will expect a rundown on your homework this week.
I don't even need to research it. I already know what's going to happen. But
I did want to talk about our guy, the MVP, the 2-time MVP.
No, don't jinx him.
It's
Pinky.
happening. Vegas already knows it's happening. They've already switched it to he's like negative 275 now.
Don't jinx him, Pinky.
It's happening. He needs 72 points and 14 rebounds to do something that no player has done in the NBA.
Which is pretty wild. Considering there's been dudes who have averaged a triple-double for the season.
2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists in one season.
That sounds like my career stats. You know what I mean?
Nobody's done that.
Here's what's so mind-boggling about that is the fact that he's looking to do that, has his team competing for fifth or fourth seed.
Yeah, they're close.
In the West without his top 2 dudes, 2 max players. And he's doing that. And people weren't talking about him as a lead MVP candidate until just recently.
Phoenix is playing so good. I'm going to give them credit. Like, if our 2 top guys are healthy, I think we're the 2 seed. I think Phoenix is still 1, but I think we would be the 2 seed.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, because here's what's so crazy about that then. You take guys that are starting right now for the Nuggets and you move them onto the bench. And now that second unit is dangerous. That's why this is such a big deal that MPJ and Murray are out, is because you take 2 guys who are starting right now, Barton, most likely. You would take Barton and Monte Morris. You would move them to the bench. And a good NBA team is only going to run a 7 to 8 man rotation. So, I mean, that makes Denver's second unit as good, if not the best in the league at that point in time. And that was always one of their strengths, is their depth. So the reason they're in the position they are right now is because of Jokic and the fact that they had a little bit of depth to get them by.
They've got some good minutes from Bones Highland as a rookie.
Oh, he's been playing amazing as a rookie. So, you got him, Barton, Morris coming off the bench. There's both greens could come in. I mean, technically Denver could go 10 deep if they had to, but if MPJ and Murray are playing at, all-star or all-pro, third NBA team kind of stuff levels, Denver's
if they're just putting up their normal career average points wise, we are flying.
So what's sad is and I don't like using this because it's not really the scenario per se, because Nuggets put themselves in positions to win and they just had some unfortunate luck with injuries. But arguably, Jokic's 2 best seasons of his career, maybe ever, are going to be wasted. Because there's no way Denver's going to win a championship. Like, everybody would have to play 1,000 times above their level for them to beat the likes of Milwaukee and Phoenix and teams like that right now. So, while they can make the playoffs and I think they can get out of the first round, I don't see it going much farther than that, unfortunately. So
without those 2 guys, they're not going to.
Now there is talk that MPJ and Murray could be cleared by both their doctors within the first round of the playoffs. If that's the case, Denver said that they'd have a hard time deciding if they were keep them shut down or bring them back. Here's my thought. If the doctors clear them and the players feel like they can get their stamina levels up to where they feel they can contribute, and the Nuggets say you're not coming back, screw the Nuggets then at that point. I may not be a fan at that point. I may renounce my fandom if that happens. Because that would be a terrible decision.
They could come back, hurt themselves. They could come back and not be effective. I mean, so
they could come back next year and hurt themselves. If the doctors clear you, there's no reason to hold them out. If the doctors do not clear them, then yeah, don't try to force them way back by, the second, third round. But if the doctors clear them within the next couple of weeks and they could contribute to the first round and then be ready to go by the second round, dude, that could change everything for the playoff outlook. Everything. The Nuggets could easily make a run and go all the way. That's how important those two dudes are.
I don't see us beating Phoenix right now.
If those two dudes are back, absolutely they could.
I don't think they'll be back in like completely 100% though.
They don't have to be. That's what I'm trying to let you know. They wouldn't. If you get 80% from those two dudes, as long as they're cleared, 80% from those two dudes could give Denver a chance to make a run. I'm not saying they would beat Phoenix in that situation, but I'm saying they would have a puncher's shot. But I'll do more next week. Playoffs. I mean, each team has 3 games left. Season's over Saturday. Is it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember which.
There's 3 games.
Maybe next Monday.
The
Somewhere in
play
there.
The Spurs, and they play
the Lakers. Are out. The Lakers are out. LeBron's sitting. He's not playing in the next game. He's already been called. Lakers are going to miss the playoffs, and they have no way to make that roster better next year. None, unless they trade LeBron and AD. Oh, by the way, I heard a new nickname for our buddy Street Clothes that I think you guys will really enjoy. So people call him the Brow or AD, right? A day-to-day Davis.
That's good.
Wow.
I like that.
I like that. But yeah, we'll have plenty more NBA. The MVP isn't even announced until right before the finals start. So we won't even know if Joker wins until then, which is, I think, dumb the way the NBA does that to begin with. But story for another time.
I guess it depends on, do they allow for more, like, to you to continue to pad your resume before they make the decision?
Regular season. That's it. Votes get turned in after the regular season. They just don't announce it until.
Okay.
Like, I personally think it should be announced before
Playoffs.
the playoffs start. There's usually about a 2-day gap, 2 to 3 day gap from end of regular season to when playoffs start. There's no reason you can't tell your riders they have to have it in by midnight the day after the season ends. And then you come out and announce it before the playoffs start.
And it's all like electronic, so they have it right away.
Then you're going to announce a playoff MVP after the finals. So let's make sure that they're separated. But whatever. Next.
All right, so football started to die down a little bit after we had like the craziest March of all time.
Definitely.
And there's a lot going back and forth, but I wanted to get your guys' take or just some thoughts about what's considered the best division in football right now, the AFC West.
I don't know how all these pundits are picking the Broncos to miss the playoffs. I think that's my biggest takeaway right now.
So I don't see a lot of people picking us to miss the playoffs, just not us to do anything at all. Like I see a lot, oh yeah, they'll make the playoffs, but they can't beat Kansas City.
Here's my point. There shouldn't be anybody saying Denver's going to miss the playoffs. They almost made the playoffs backing their way in last year with Teddy Bridgewater at the quarterback position.
People don't realize they were literally right there in December for a playoff spot with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback.
So here's my thing. If you think that division all got that much better, then guess what? All 4 teams are going to make the playoffs.
Here's one thing the national media
This
is probably
beating up on each other bogus thing. You play each other how many times, Pinky?
twice.
Okay, so within the division, you play your division how many games?
6 total.
Okay, let's say every single team somehow, I know it's not even mathematically possible, but somehow lost all 6 games they played against the division. They would easily win the other 11 games they played against everybody else in the NFL. Like, that's just an absurd thought. Like, it's more likely that all 4 teams make the playoffs to me than it is Denver misses the playoffs.
Which is possible, but again, all teams would have to do they would have to win some of their, they'd have to go 3-3, 4-2 in their division to make that happen.
I don't see any of those teams going under 10-7.
So
do you?
One of the things that I noticed is media doesn't remember, like, the Broncos were literally one Drew Lock fumble away from beating the Bengals, who were in the Super Bowl. Drew Lock. It was a 15-10 ball game. I was there. It was a fun game.
They held their own against Kansas City last year.
To know that you have a quarterback that is completely way and above anything we had last season.
It's no NFC East.
It's no NFC East.
Why you gotta go there?
We'll get there. We'll get there. But so I keep going back and forth.
I can't poke Pinky tonight. He had a good Monday. I got to poke somebody else. Sorry, SB.
Well, one of the things that I keep seeing in the media that does get me a little heated, and I'm a bias. I've got orange glasses. I'm wearing the Russell Wilson jersey tonight, right? I keep hearing all the pundits say, but the Broncos have to play Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and David Carr. Don't they have to play us too? Like, why is that not they have to play the Broncos?
Because the Broncos have been so down for so long that people have recency bias issues against the Broncos. That's all it is. That's all it is.
I mean, but there should be a lot of common sense though too. That like your guys' defense was fairly solid for as bad as your
Wasn't it
offense
top 5
was.
last year?
In the top 5, and that was with like no pass rush at all.
That was also with no offense to help them.
Yeah.
So now that you guys are going to be able to go out there, hopefully put up some points, move the ball around.
Now, I do give some of the national media credit when they mention the coaching staff. Like, hey, we don't know what we're going to get from the coaching staff because they're all
It's going to be better
than.
than what was there. It doesn't matter. Like, that shouldn't even. Oh, my
It's hard to
God,
be
there's
that bad.
stupidity.
It's hard to be that bad.
Fangio was trash. Maybe a really great guy, by all accounts, really good dude. Terrible head coach. Terrible. And there's no other way to say it.
Good defensive coordinator and good defensive game plans came out every week. Other than that, not a good head coach.
But that has nothing to do with head coach. That's defensive coordinator. There is a reason, obviously, that he was a defensive coordinator in the NFL for as long as he was and not a head coach. Dude was a terrible head coach. And I've still got questions about Patton because he allowed Fangio to stay on as head coach for a year. So I'm still a little curious about.
I think that had more to do with like not paying his salary.
I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that at all. I'm so tired of people saying, well, no, this is a win now league. So you make the moves you need to do to win now while you set yourself up for the future. Now, I will say, Patton made a lot of great moves this offseason. So I'm not completely down on him, but I still have a slight question mark hanging over to see how he continues this because of some of the things he's done in the past. So we'll see. But I think Broncos go anything less than 11-6, I'll be amazed.
I mean, Vegas has them as like the 5th or 6th best odds to win the Super Bowl. So I don't know what the media sees that Vegas doesn't see. But the one thing I'd like to just have the media get back to is just like, let's just talk about how fun it's going to be to watch these games. And like a lot of these games are going to be in prime time as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do I think we're going to stomp the Raiders? No, Raiders got better. Raiders look like a good team. They made the playoffs last year when they got rid of their coach, and they did get McDaniels, who
I think he's going to be really good.
I don't know.
I think he's a smart enough dude to learn from his mistakes. I think he's made some really stupid mistakes over the years. But I think the guy is
Let's
a
just
smart
say
dude.
the Belichick coaching tree has not been very fruitful
Agreed.
to this point.
I also think he wasn't as bad in Denver as people like to think he was, especially Broncos fans.
I mean, it was more about Spygate 2.0 that got him canned than
drafting
him
Tebow wasn't the best move. But I still believe had he been allowed to stay there and coach Tebow, you would have seen what you're seeing now from Lamar Jackson and stuff. McDaniels would have been doing that back then.
I don't know about that. I'm a Tebow lover, man.
I'm not saying Tebow would have been as good as Lamar Jackson. I'm saying McDaniels is smart enough to build his offense around his talent rather than force his talent. Square peg, round hole that I always talk about.
He didn't get a real chance to coach up Tebow because he was gone really before he got the chance.
I think he's the kind of guy that puts his players in positions to show their strengths. And that's one thing Belichick has always been amazing at.
Sure.
Right? That's what Belichick's known for. You don't like that guy because you can't use him for 3 downs as a running back? Guess what? I only needed him to come out and catch 5 passes a game. Sign him. Like, that's what Belichick is known for. I think McDaniels has taken those things, and I think he will use them to his advantage in Oakland.
We'll see.
Las Vegas.
The
Sorry, I watched the John Madden special this weekend. I got Oakland Raiders on my mind.
the track record has not been great, but we'll see. And I'm excited to see it because,
he
again,
can't be worse than Gruden, right? I mean, I think we.
I'm not a fan of Gruden, so yeah.
I was, and I'm going to say he can't be worse than Gruden.
I don't think he'll be worse than Gruden.
But yeah, the AFC West is going to. I honestly believe, fully 100% believe the Chiefs are going to be at the bottom of that division when the season ends. And I say that because their defense is worse off, and their offense is not going to be better than it was last year. And people have started to figure out Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Now, that doesn't mean Patrick Mahomes isn't going to be amazing still, but you limit him just enough. Their defense isn't that good. You put pressure on that offense to go have to make plays instead of sit back and do what they want. That's going to cause some issues for them.
Well, not having a guy that's the fastest guy in the NFL that can run anywhere on the field. And when Patrick Mahomes does his, I'm going to retreat 15 yards, turn around, and just chuck the ball as far as I can. Like, there's no guy that's going to be down there. MVS is not going to fill that role.
No, but I think they draft.
I think they'll draft
now.
someone,
If they do another McCole Hardman instead of DK Metcalf pick, then they're screwed. But there's enough wide receivers that they should be okay. Here's the sneaky move that they did make that I actually really love, and I think he's going to be a breakout star next year. Getting Ronald Jones at the running back position.
I like Ronald Jones.
I think that dude's going to go easy 1,200 yards and close to 10 touchdowns.
Andy Reid doesn't run the ball that much.
I think he will with Ronald Jones. Their offense is going to change a little bit this year. I think it just is. I think Andy Jones is going to go back to more of what he did with why am I drawing a blank on the guy's name in Philly?
Brian Westbrook.
Brian Westbrook.
Yeah.
Where he'll get 15 to 20 running opportunities and another 5 to 10 catches out of the backfield. Now, Ronald Jones may not get a lot of that backfield catching work because they still might let CEH try to get some of that passing down work. But Ronald Jones is sneaky good as a pass catcher, I think. I think he's improved that a lot. I think we'll see that.
I think he's a good running back.
And I do think he'll run the ball. I mean, Westbrook had many 1,000-yard seasons as a running back.
Westbrook's a pretty awesome running back.
So I think, and check this, Ronald Jones is only 24.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like he's been in the league forever.
He came in at 19.
I don't know
one of
why-
the youngest guys ever to enter the NFL.
I don't know why Tampa Bay let him go.
Why they don't like him, why they decided to go with Fournette instead, still blows my mind because I honestly believe Ronald Jones is more talented.
This is because Tampa hasn't run the ball since All-Star was around. That's just how they are.
I mean,
They let Fournette run quite a bit.
Yeah.
It took them a while to get into that.
They did.
though.
I'll agree with that. They did.
It's
But I
not
do
their-
think talent-wise, I think Ronald Jones is more dangerous than Fournette. And Fournette's a really good running back.
I did want to say something about your division real quick, though. I think the other issue is that I would say any team in that division has that possibility of going 0-6 in that division as well, too. Because I think every game is going to be
I don't see that.
I think
I
it's
totally
possible.
understand where you're coming from, and I could see that happening to somebody.
I mean, it
I
could
really
be
could.
literally
I
losing
think-
by 3 to
I think
every
the worst
single
team might go 2-4, but they're going to go 0-6.
I still, though,
So
even
goes
with that,
that.
I'll say it again. I would be amazed if anybody in that division finishes under 10-7, even if they went 0-6.
I wouldn't doubt it. Not at all. You guys are pretty stacked.
The only thing we haven't seen is the Raiders defense, even though they did get Chandler Jones, was a good pickup. They don't really have anything on the back end.
They don't, but like you said, they didn't get any worse.
They did not get worse.
And with a cohesive coaching staff from start to finish, they should perform better overall.
I mean, they still made the playoffs last year. So.
And their offense is going to be better. Their offense is going to be slightly better than it was last
I
year.
don't see how their offense is their offense will be good. Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow will only get better with Adams there. Waller, Josh Jacobs.
Think about what Devontae Adams does for Waller, Renfrow, and Jacob. And Waller's already arguably the best tight end in the league, depending on who you talk to. I'm not saying many people will put him there, but there was a time going into last season where people had him as the number one dude.
We know it's Kelsey, Waller, Andrews is the conversation.
So, I mean, there's weapons there. And if you can keep your defense off the field, like you were just pointing out earlier, SP, that does wonders for your defense. And I think that's partly why I think Kansas City's going to struggle a little bit this year
Yeah.
is because their defense isn't that good. And if they're on the field all the time, that's going to cause issues for the
Well,
offense.
I just don't know why Kansas City doesn't want to pay Honey Badger, or why they didn't pay Honey Badger and then went and got Justin Reed from the Texans, who's a good player, but he's no Honey Badger.
Spagnuolo and Reed, scheme-wise, think they can fill the hole in other ways. And plain and simple, they've come out outright and said, we've got to find ways to save money to build for the future still.
Well, here's an interesting fact, because I was talking with Andy. So the Chiefs right now have $38 million for next year for the cap available to spend. They only have 22 players under contract next season.
Yeah, that 30 ain't gonna go very far then when your roster is that.
But they did get a shit ton of draft picks for Tyreek Hill. So that's where I like, some people are like, oh, they're going to trade up. I was like, I don't think they trade up. I think they stay where they are. They take their picks and they use that as capital of, hey, now we have these guys under contract and now we don't have, we can help, not have to.
I mean, it's been proven that the new NFL, you either do what Brady does and hope your quarterback takes less and you can spread it out more, or you have to pay your quarterback and then draft really well and you get a 5-year run.
Mahomes took a pretty team-friendly deal. The problem is after like the third season, those numbers like really went up.
He didn't take a team-friendly deal, Pinky. His cap hits are nasty.
Well, he did because it was over 10 years versus like 4 or 5. So he did spread it out for a long time.
No, he didn't. It's a $500 million contract, Pinky. The only difference between him and Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson got a little less than half of what Mahomes got, but it's all guaranteed.
It was only for 4 years too.
It's 5.
Oh, it's
5 at 230.
5 at 230.
It's no different. His cap hits are ridiculous, but we're never going to see another Brady again. We are never going to see a top-tier quarterback take less money to build around his team. It's never going to happen.
And I agree with the argument for most people, like, well, Brady can do that because his wife makes more money than him.
No, that's stupid. That has nothing to do with it, and I guarantee it. That is Tom's mentality as a player.
It surely helps.
Well, if you're there to win, absolutely. Why would you not take the pay? Dude's obviously not hurting for money, so that's
he's making $20 million a year instead of 50. Okay. You can still pretty much live the same lifestyle with either.
Yeah, that's from the NFL though. Like, who knows how much he brings in from endorsements?
Well, I wasn't even going to go there. I'm just talking base salary numbers.
Well, I know.
Just at those base salary numbers, 25 to 50 million doesn't change your lifestyle a whole lot. And then you go on the fact, like you just said, then all the endorsements and everything he rakes in.
Yeah.
His wife has nothing to do with it. And the fact that people keep bringing that up, I think is ridiculous.
I think it does have something
doesn't.
to do with it.
The dude wants to win. That's what means more to him than the money.
I don't see why.
That is a rare breed.
Listen, if that was Nicolas Cage you were talking about, different story. Okay. Complete different story. All right. This is Tom Brady. That guy's got 21 years of salary. Okay. I think he's doing okay.
Dude, I'm so excited for that Nick Cage movie. So excited.
Did you see Pig yet?
No, I haven't.
Jesus Christ, dude. You don't get to see the new one until you watched Pig. All right. That's it. It's a rule.
Fair.
What's it on?
I don't know. Hulu?
Okay, I'll go look for it.
Is it on Hulu?
I think so.
I'll go look for it.
I'm pretty sure it's on
You got
Hulu.
the internet right there.
I'm a big Nick Cage fan, actually. So
I am a big Nick Cage fan as well. Cheers. We agree on something. So I'm excited to just see the AFC West. Now,
Yes, it's on Hulu.
cool.
2 things Bronco related I'm excited for. Rumors are flying really high. We will be the opening game of the season in LA.
Okay.
And then rumors are also flying that we will play the Jaguars in London as well.
Okay.
Which I think that's super cool.
I hate
I
the
do.
London games.
I like the London games. I like having a game at 7:30. Crack my beer open early.
I'll back up. From that perspective, as an NFL fan, yeah, real cool that I can, when I wake up, there's already a game on.
Dude, on Sunday mornings, my wife's like, she has no idea why this happens. I literally wake up at 6 a.m. I have no reason to get out of bed. Like, normally, besides the London games, there's no games on. I wake up at 6 a.m. every Sunday, religiously, during football season. No rhyme or reason.
What the hell are you doing for 4.5 hours?
Whatever, bro. setting my lineups, going like watching videos.
Maybe
like,
that's your problem. Maybe you have too much time to tinker with your lineups, and that's what's been costing you in fantasy.
hey, I
kid.
won a championship last
You want
year.
a couple.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
won
said.
2.
Sun shines on a dog's ass every once
in a while, right?
Maybe that's why I'm so bitter about the Kansas, because you beat my ass in the fucking Dynasty League when you shouldn't have either.
Whoa,
And the
whoa.
Najee Harris trade.
My team is pretty good in that Dynasty League. And that's, again, it's only because I got Justin Jefferson. And then I got, I already had Stafford, but he got traded to the Rams. He doesn't get traded to the Rams. Like, my team's still not good. But he got traded to the Rams, and I already had Cooper Kupp.
You shouldn't have had Javonte Williams or Najee Harris. Those guys should both be on my team.
Yeah, probably. But
screw you, Sam. Yeah, Sam, I said it. That is absolutely all your fault. Try to be a nice guy, and it kicked my nuts.
But I take great credit that I traded Calvin Ridley. I traded Tyreek Hill. I traded Christian McCaffrey.
I did you the Zeke solid. After I did you the Zeke solid, you have made some nice moves. I'm not going to argue that. But I am so mad at myself for making that deal with you. Move along.
But I appreciate you.
Move along. I love you.
You're a good friend.
I love you, buddy.
You're a good friend.
I love you.
All right. So AFC West. So we're excited about
refill.
that.
Yo, SP, you don't want that cherry?
No.
Pour it in here.
I mean, how about you help me finish that bottle off?
It's gone.
Oh,
It's gone, man. You got the last bit.
So if you don't want it, I'll
I
finish
mean,
it.
it's probably a little watered down, but all right, here, help yourself, man.
He doesn't have cooties. He's fine. All right.
I
So
don't
SP, before we get into the next topic, because I'm going to ask, I'm literally going to ask you both questions because I already know kind of what my answers are. How you feeling about the Cowboys so far?
I don't feel any different than I did this last season, to be honest. I think it's really it's weird because I think it's really going to depend on how we draft, and then I will see what to expect from the season. There's definitely been the good thing about this coaching changes is there's been an emphasis in regards to fixing problems, which I think is actually a really good mindset for them.
They didn't fix the main problem, though.
What do you consider the main problem?
Mike McCarthy.
Well, I mean, yeah.
We could go to ownership, but they're not selling the team. So,
right. Yeah. No, not that cash cow. They have better luck pulling a power of attorney and getting the team from him.
Oh, dude, somebody would pay $10 billion for the Cowboys. No doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
well,
that might even be light.
That's
Yes.
probably light.
yes. So I think it just really depends. Either Mike McCarthy is going to come out and it's going to be his last. I think it's his last season regardless, because we either get Kellen Moore is what my thought process is, or maybe even Dan Quinn.
They love Dan Quinn.
Yeah. I think they would honestly, they would either have to look at Kellen Moore or Dan Quinn, but I don't think Mike McCarthy's sticking around. So I think
I don't think after this season you're keeping both of them again.
No. I'm saying one of those two are probably moving to head coach.
Agreed.
So-
And then you're losing the other one to somebody else.
Which makes no sense because if that's the case, you should have just fired Mike McCarthy and hired one of them anyways.
Look,
Rip that Band-Aid off.
if there's one thing you can say about Jerry Jones that is a great quality, and I truly mean this, I'm not trying to sound sarcastic, facetious.
He has loyalty.
Anything. The dude is loyal to his core.
Yes, he does.
And if you're a Jerry guy, he will go to bat for you to the ends of the earth and burn his own feet first before you get touched.
Yeah, he definitely does it to a detriment.
So yeah, you could call it a fault and a great asset at the same time. For
like
sure.
having Jason Garrett 5 years longer than you should have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, you had 2014. That was your best chance. That team was.
But let's be
stacked.
honest. I still think Jason Garrett kind of gets the shaft because you guys should have had at least one Super Bowl, in my opinion. The NFL screwed you. That was a catch. Des Bryant was a catch. I don't care what anybody says, and I think you guys win the Super Bowl.
I still don't know if they get to the Super Bowl.
They
but
win the Super Bowl that year.
I don't know.
I
about
fully
that.
believe that. Fully believe that.
I don't know about that.
I don't
But-
remember who they would have played.
They would have played Seattle in the championship game.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Is that a winnable game for the Cowboys? Yes, because they beat Seattle in Seattle that year.
You know
But
why I think they
Do
win the
still-
Super Bowl?
Do they still beat New England that year?
Yes. And this is why. Romo was having the best season of his career. Romo was elusive. He could run. He could scramble. He could throw it on a dime. Romo is underrated
like-
as an NFL quarterback.
No, absolutely.
Chinky.
Absolutely. I love Romo. They never
every-
had a complete team.
Every
around
fantasy
Romo.
year, I was
Always something
amazed
was
that I
missing.
could get Romo in the 10th.
Oh, yeah.
Every year, I was amazed that people let me have him.
Yeah.
Never understood why.
Yeah.
Des Bryant is underrated. His prime, while it was short, I'll give Des 4 years at a prime. And that might even be a little.
He wore that 88 proud.
But in his prime, that dude could be put up against any receiver in NFL history, and he could go blow for the most part. Just his prime only being 3 to 4 years, when you look at T.O., Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, that's why he's not in those conversations.
I mean, he was one of the big physical receivers.
He would go
that
deep
just-
too, dude.
He could.
He would go deep. He
Absolutely.
would go over the middle. He could take it short and go long.
He-
Dez was good
he
in
just-
his prime.
He
some,
was. Yeah.
Some of these guys, like, they take a lot of shots. They
Marion Barber, and who was the two-headed horse with him? Marion Barber and
Jones. It was a Jones.
I feel like you're just making that up.
No, it's a Jones. I just don't know which Jones. Kevin Jones.
and then
Jones.
and then DeMarco Murray had a 2-year run there where he was really
Marco
good.
Murray was fantastic.
Dallas wins the Super Bowl that year, and I think that changes the entire narrative.
I don't
with
know if they
everybody
beat New
associated.
England.
Wait. Are you talking about on the Cowboys or on?
On the Cowboys, yeah.
Oh, Felix Jones?
Mhm.
Felix Jones.
Yeah.
Out of Arkansas. Thank
Yeah,
you. Yep.
yeah.
I knew it was a Jones.
Good job. Good job.
I don't know. For some reason I thought you guys were talking about the Giants. That's why I'm like, all right, okay.
Where the hell did the conversation ever go to the Giants?
No, it's because of Barber. When you said Barber, for some
Oh.
reason, my mind went to
Marion
the
Barber,
yeah.
yeah.
So, and then that's why I was like, wait, what?
No, he
Yeah.
was thinking Tiki. Marion didn't play for the Giants.
No, I talked to
No,
Felix
Marion
Jones.
Barber
once.
played for the Cowboys.
I know. I'm saying Barber, though, he was thinking Tiki. That's
Yeah,
why he
yeah.
went to the Giants.
Yeah. That's why, like, my dude. I don't know. That was weird.
Sometimes your mind really goes way off where we're at.
Sure
This,
does.
this fucking guy.
Well, funny thing about Felix Jones though, is
he was
back-
really dangerous too for a couple years.
Yeah, he was. When we were working at T-Mobile, I actually helped him with his phone. It was a funny story, right? Because like he calls in, he's like, "Yeah, man, I need to get my phone working. I might be getting a phone call tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, man. Yeah, we're going through everything." And I'm like, "Yeah, so what's going on?" He's like, "Oh man, I might get drafted." He was
You're like, oh yeah, cool. I might get a phone call too. I'll fix it.
I got a better one. I had LeGarrette Blunt on the phone when he was
At Oregon after he punched somebody and he needed life
So
insurance.
no, he went undrafted. He signed with Tennessee, I believe it was, and then he
got drafted.
No, he did not get drafted.
Oh, I think that's not correct.
LeGarrette Blunt.
LeGarrette
Yeah.
Blunt did not get drafted.
I think he
Let's
went
see.
from like a second round to like a fifth round because of that punch.
So he called me up and he had one of the Windows phones, which was garbage. And he was just like, "Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting this working." I was like, "I don't know what to tell you, bro."
Bro, you might want a new phone. Did you get drafted?
Dude, I'm looking. I don't know. Quick way to find that.
If you go to
let's see.
Wikipedia, it should tell you what his draft position was.
Well, that's
which
what I'm looking for, sir.
pretty confident it was
undrafted.
undrafted.
Okay, solid. Yeah, that punch he threw. Whew.
I wouldn't want to get punched by that dude.
Dude, he cold clocked the guy. I will never forget that. Felix Jones actually was running mates with Darren McFadden at Arkansas. That backfield was dangerous.
Mhm.
And both would have been better if they didn't have injury issues. Which, speaking of kind of way off topic, weird running back duos that could have been really dangerous without injuries, Cadillac Williams and Ronnie Brown coming out of Auburn were crazy good as rookies, and then both had some injury issues throughout their NFL career that derailed them. Fun facts. But back to the Cowboys. What is the one thing you're looking? What are you most optimistic about for the Cowboys?
Honestly, it's if Kellen Moore gets his head
That they
straight,
don't play the Broncos this season.
at least not at home, which I know that's not going to happen, so I'm not worried. Anyways, vertical. I think they need to be hardcore in a vertical offense. They need to quit trying to force the ball to Elliott, who's underperformed. Pollard got too much work, ended up getting hurt. I think Elliott needs to be the next person to go after Cooper, and I don't think Cooper is a big loss because I think we are stacked with wide receivers.
It's funny you say it because I actually have Zeke having a huge bounce back year. I think he's going to be healthy.
He
and
better,
I think
otherwise
he's
he ain't going to be
really
a
good.
Cowboy too long. I'll tell you that.
Pretty excited. They did meet with Chris Olave this week.
Huh.
He would be great.
That would be a wasted draft pick on their part.
No way. No way.
They need help on defense and the offensive line before they need another wide
Our
receiver.
defense improved dramatically.
No. We're not playing this game again. It went from like last to 15th. You guys need to add some pieces to get into the top 10 to be competitive. Now, I think the only reason you already have some talent.
We also had a lot of injuries on our veteran.
DeMarcus Lawrence missed like half the year, but you lost Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
You still don't really have a linebacker because Parsons is going to be more of an edge rusher.
You can't rely on turnovers. Turnovers was like what really made the Dallas defense good.
That's kind of Dan Quinn's defense, though. That's what I'm saying. You add pieces there. You don't need another wide. Gallup is really good if he's healthy.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb's going to be a beast.
Cedric Wilson was pretty good too.
He's gone. He's in
loss.
Miami.
I know.
Oh,
that's what I'm pointing out.
I actually think that's a bigger loss than people talk about.
I don't. The only reason he blew up is because they had injury issues. If guys can stay healthy finally.
Hey,
but
here's
the deal. You add to the
needed
offensive line, you add to the defense. I do believe Zeke is healthy and he's a beast again. That's where you guys were dangerous, is when the run game is going and you could get that play action rolling. That's when Dak is a top 5 quarterback. That's when the offense opens up in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalton Schultz coming back, I think, is an underrated move. That guy is their Jason Witten now. And when you can have a tight end, it doesn't need to be, I'm going to get the ball to him every time. It's my possession guy is here. 3rd and 5, my receivers are covered. I can go to this guy, and I know he's going to catch it. That is a big safety net for a quarterback.
Let's be honest.
Schultz is good.
The only way the Cowboys don't win that division is if the Eagles win it.
I disagree. Washington's going to be good. They're going to be better than they were last year, and there's no way that defense underperforms again. There is too much talent on that defense.
Dude, there was too much talent last year, and they underperformed.
I get it, but it happens sometimes. It just does.
I'm not going with that.
I think people were underestimating Wentz for whatever reason. He's going to be able to get the ball. They have weapons on that offense. Logan Thomas healthy, McLaren healthy, Gibson's a beast at running back. They've got some weapons, man.
It's Dallas and Philly for me. That's me.
Oh, and I was going to say too, Cedric Wilson wasn't that big of a loss because, in my opinion, Noah Brown is just as good as he is.
I'll give you that.
So
I'll give you that.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But again,
Wilson really grew up last year.
Jerry needs to listen to his son Steven, and they need to draft need, not want. And wide receiver is not a need.
It's not. No, I think actually, if we can get a good safety, because we've struggled at safety for about 14 years now.
I agree. Safety, linebacker, O-line is where you guys need to be looking.
Yeah,
and you take the best off the board at whichever position that is when your
That's
pick
24.
comes up. So if there's still one of the best offensive lines at 24, you take it. If there's one of the best safeties, you take. You don't prioritize which one you need the most. You take the best of what's available.
Trevor Penning is there at 24.
Dude, that'd be scary.
What did we get? Sorry, I was trying to remember what we got for Cooper. Or fifth
round pick.
Jesus Christ.
Because you come out and said, this is where Jerry is a terrible GM. He loves too much and doesn't want to let go. And he comes out and says stupid shit before they have a chance to make the move. You don't come out and say you're going to drop Cooper before you've had a chance to trade him.
Yeah, no joke.
Because nobody's going to give you anything. Like, the only reason the Browns gave you a fifth for him is because they go, yeah, a fifth is worth it so that he doesn't possibly sign with somebody else. Because he's not going to sign here if he has a chance.
He's definitely not signing with Cleveland if he's a free agent.
So you give him a fifth and then he comes. So that's why they did it.
That's honestly just as bad as the Roy Williams thing, in my opinion, too. what they did with that.
Roy Will.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. He makes some bad choices.
All right. Let me ask you guys this question. Who are you most excited to see on their new team besides Russell Wilson?
Man, that's hard to say. Come
on, Aaron.
I don't know. That's tough. That's tough, man.
I got 3. I'll give you a chance to think. You think
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a second here. I got 3. I've already mentioned one of them, Ronald Jones.
I like that.
I
move.
am a
do.
huge fan of his. I think he has shown insane potential, and I think he finally
When
gets
healthy.
a chance.
When healthy.
He was healthy all
He-
last year, and they
he gets banged up a little bit. A
whatever.
little bit.
I am stoked to watch him go, and that sucks because he's division rival now. But I am stoked for Ronald Jones. I'm also really stoked to see what Devontae Adams can do with Derek Carr because I think Derek Carr has been drastically underappreciated his entire career. What was it, 2016? He was going to be the MVP before he broke his neck.
I don't know if
Or-
he's MVP.
You know what I mean?
He's
though.
in the
He would've been-
conversation, though. I would agree.
So I
Another change.
plus
I
he's
agree.
based on everything I've ever heard come out of that dude's mouth. I don't know if there's a better teammate to have in the NFL. So like that dude's still trying to support Henry Ruggs and John Gruden. So like I don't know if there's a better dude in the NFL than Derek Carr.
He's a good dude.
So
a good dude.
I'm excited to see what
I
him.
would take Carr in a heartbeat.
I'm excited to see what him linking up with his college teammate, who by all accounts are still really, really
Dude.
close.
Having him with Waller and Renfro, nasty.
So really excited for those two. And the third one might surprise you actually a little bit, but it shouldn't. Because I kind of wasn't happy about the signing per se. Because I feel like it might have been a little money not so well spent for the Broncos. But I'm a Husker boy. Go for 2, baby. Real men. That's what you do. I'm excited to see Randy Gregory playing for my team.
Randy Gregory, with his length and his motor, could be dangerous.
He's also drastically
Dangerous.
underrated as a run stopper. Honestly. That dude plays the run better than people think because they think of him purely as a pass rusher.
Look,
And the Broncos were hurting at the run stop last year.
well, not from the edge per se, but they had like their fifth and sixth linebackers playing.
I'm
At that
not going into depth on
But-
why, but they had issues with run stop
Look.
last year.
Randy Gregory, healthy, motivated, is nasty.
And again, he'll never get suspended again from the NFL because the only thing he was ever suspended for is legal in Colorado.
It's weed.
And the NFL doesn't test for it anymore.
Correct.
So we're good.
We're good. SP, you got an answer yet? You want me to go?
No, I do have an answer, and I also have probably was going to be considered a hot take to go with it.
Oh, I love this. Go. Let me hear it.
Deshaun Watson, and if he plays whole season, right? Nothing. Whatever,
No, he's not playing the whole season.
has it already been determined?
No, I
He's-
think
he's
he
not
might.
playing the whole
Pinky.
season.
I think
Dude, if Ezekiel Elliott got suspended,
the NFL
for
won't suspend him
hearsay-
until the civil cases are settled. That's the problem right now.
Ezekiel Elliott got suspended for hearsay, Deshaun Watson is getting suspended. 6 to 8 games.
Okay,
Pinky, they can't suspend him though because the civil cases are still pending. And if all those civil cases came back as not guilty and they suspended him,
Well, no.
that would be a terrible look for the NFL.
there's no guilt though with civil cases.
You know what I mean though.
Yeah.
At fault, not at fault, however you want to say it. Guilty, not guilty, if he
They
has
just-
to pay out
it's
or
just-
if he doesn't have to
It's
pay
just
out.
undisclosed, is what they would put it.
You
at.
know what I
So,
mean. The NFL
um,
cannot suspend him until those are
I
settled.
mean,
I like that pick though.
again, Deshaun Watson, he's going to make the Browns a good team.
Well, here
It's
was
not
They were
next
already
season.
a good team.
here was
It's not
this
next season.
here was the second thing I was going to say. If he plays the whole season,
He's not.
noted. Thank you, Pinky.
He's not.
if he plays the whole season, they win that division.
I don't think that's a hot take at all.
Okay.
I don't think that's a hot take at all.
I don't
I
know.
mean, with the Bengals there, you know what I mean? I
Bengals,
don't know. Bengals the only one to be concerned
Bengals
about.
and Ravens had a lot of injuries last year.
Best
lot of
arguably
injuries.
offensive line in the league. Best running back duo in the league with arguably the best running back if he plays a full season. Solid athletic tight end. Now a number 1 wide receiver. Good defense. Where's the hot take there?
And then if Odell Beckham happens to go back there, and then you have him and Cooper,
Dude,
that's,
we were talking about them being a Super Bowl contender to start last season with Baker playing. They didn't get worse.
Correct,
So
correct,
that's not
correct.
a hot take. I don't think
It's
that's a
not
hot take at all.
It's not a hot take.
okay.
But he's gonna sit some games.
The hot take would be if you said he gets suspended 8 games, Baker leads them to a 6-2 record. He comes back and then wins the division. That would have been the hot take.
Do you think Baker's even still going to be there? Because they have Brissett now too, right?
I think if they're smart, they would.
They do have Brissett.
Because nobody's going to give them what they want.
Yeah.
And the
Nobody's
way they get what they want is by trading Baker mid-season because he starts the first 6 to 8
nobody's
games.
taking on $18 million for a guy they think you're going to cut.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Amari Cooper syndrome.
He's guaranteed $18 million. They're not going to trade for him. He's toast.
And real quick, second one was Matt Ryan. I think he's going to be
Dude, I love Matt Ryan. In
Good call, too.
Love it.
Good call, too. That's
it.
going to make Indy dangerous, I think. Indy's going to be dangerous. Now, the only way I will say, though, is if the only way Indy's dangerous is if Paris Campbell's healthy.
All right.
And I say that because that then allows Pittman to not get double teamed and it opens up the run game more.
Fuck Paris Campbell. All
Super
right.
talented,
It's
dude.
my turn.
Super talented.
It's my turn.
Let's hear it.
Easy, Pinky. Easy. He's going to say Russell Wilson, even though he said besides Russell Wilson.
No. No. I'm excited for Tua.
He's not on a new team.
Well-
That completely goes against the question you just asked us.
It's Tyreek Hill on the new team. I'm excited for Tua.
You're like, by proxy, I'm excited for you.
Hey. I made the question. It's my turn.
That's actually what makes this more sad than anything. But go ahead.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Okay, gotcha.
Look.
And what the hell? When did you get on the Tua bandwagon?
Hold on. I don't know what happened.
After shitting on me for the last 2 years.
This fucking guy.
This fucking... You're the one that completely changes the question
Look.
and win.
Look.
Where am I?
Look. They have done everything to show Tua, if you don't perform, you're gone. You're gone.
I will 100% agree with that.
I've got you Tyreek Hill. I've got you a new coach. I've got you
Edmonds, Mostert,
yeah.
Cedric Wilson.
Yeah. If Tua does not perform, it's going to be his fault, without a doubt.
100% agree. I've already said that.
But
I'm still trying to wrap my
Tua's-
head around the fact that you're bringing him up.
Tua's one thing that he's got. Within 15 yards, he is accurate. He's very accurate.
You know, I wish I could remember the exact stats. There's no way I'm going to be able to find it right now. But it was something like Tua had more completions over 20 yards than any other quarterback in the league last year.
We don't have to look that up, but
I'll take a look.
See if you can. It was something along those lines. And I was like, wait. Even I was like, wait, what?
I mean, at least within 15 yards, Tua is accurate. He is accurate. I watched the games. I saw it. Jalen Waddle's a beast, and now you got Tyreek Hill on top of that.
I mean, Pinky, I love you, but when it comes to quarterbacks and anything that comes out of your mouth with passing, I'm not going to take very seriously.
Whoa.
Dude,
Easy,
you said Deshaun
easy.
Watson wasn't a good thrower of
No.
the football.
Yeah, he's kind of a chucker. I'll stay by that. I'll stand by that.
Chucker.
He chucks the football. He does.
He only led the league in passing without
did not.
any wide receiver help
did
the year
not.
before he got suspended.
He never led the league in passing.
Yeah, he did.
He did not.
2 years ago.
He did not.
He did.
He did not.
He did.
Jesus, guys, give me one thing to look up at a time. My gosh.
Again, coming back to the you get what you pay for when it comes to producers. But
Yeah, and if you guys knew what you're talking about, there would be no argument.
Well, here's the problem.
So
We're getting to the
That's
point
fair.
where we
That's
need a
fair.
producer and a stat guy. We could be looking this up ourselves, but we're just too much. We're the money face now, so we don't have to do that.
where's Zach when you need him, right?
2020, Watson did finish with the most passing yards.
Oh!
4,823.
That's passing yards.
That's what I said.
Yeah. What else would he be leading in?
But he was down in every game. That makes sense.
Empty stats.
Because
Gotcha.
oh, that's
Yeah,
where
yeah.
we're going
Right,
back to.
yeah.
Oh,
You got to put an asterisk next
but
to
wait,
everything.
how did he
I
do
mean,
that without any wide receivers?
Yeah, Brandon Cooks. He's pretty good.
Somebody help me, please.
No.
Somebody
You
got
out
no
there.
help. You got
Somebody
no
help
help.
me.
You got no help.
Don't
Okay.
Don't waste your time.
All right.
Tua over 20. Did Tua have the most completions over 20 plus yards last season? Type that in. See if that comes up with something. I'm not saying that's exactly what it was, but I read an article
So-
that was somewhere had something to do with that, and it blew my mind.
I'm excited for the Dolphins.
Okay.
And again, I just like if Tua doesn't perform, it's all on him. It's his
I
fault.
fully agree. I'm a Tua supporter. I've told you I think he's good. I think they just need to put some pieces around him. They'll be okay. Well, they've done that now, so he's got to ball out
It's
or
all
shut
on
up
him.
for sure.
It's all on him.
For sure.
All right. Next question. And this is a draft question, so I don't know if Aaron's going to be a lot of help here.
Not at all.
Not at all. All right. What player coming out in the draft this year are you most excited to see?
Mills. Sorry, go ahead.
He's not a player this year.
Oh, never mind. then.
Mills who?
Davis.
The quarterback for Houston?
No, never mind. Continue. See, this is why I shouldn't have contributed.
I can't do just one. I think this draft has been drastically underrated because people are so focused on the quarterbacks being a little bit weaker. But I think the wide receivers are just as good as the last couple of years. I think the running backs are actually incredibly underrated. And I think there's a couple right at the top who could really blow up if they go to the right team. I think O-line and defensive line are stacked for the first couple of rounds. I can't really pick just one dude. I think there's a lot of talent in this draft, and the only reason it's been poo-pooed on, if you will, is just because the quarterbacks are a little light.
So most of the draft analysis that I've watched talks about the O-line, the edge rushers, and the O-line. There are some wide receivers, but they're not sure if they're, Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
Jefferson wasn't Jefferson coming out in his draft. He was like the fifth wide receiver taken.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he was, he wouldn't have went so late. So
So
He
I don't want to hear
was,
that
but
shit.
Performance-wise, he was number
After
one.
he got drafted? After he got drafted. So it's really cool when these draft analysts can play, mind reader after the fact. Like that's weak ass analyzation. Weak ass analysis. I'm gonna start making up words for us here, so just stick with me.
okay, gotcha.
That's just weak analysis on their part to say, well, there's no Jefferson in this draft. But Jefferson wasn't Jefferson in his draft. So that's BS on their part. Now, Pinky, I'm going to tell you to start doing something on your own. And this next season, I want you to actually start watching some college football on a regular basis and start making your own analysis like I do. Instead of listening to these NFL.com experts who spew the same shit every year and are wrong 80% of the time.
Yeah, they're like weathermen. They don't gotta get paid to get things right.
I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying when you have the same narrative every year, well, this class doesn't have a Jefferson or a Jamar Chase. People were down on Jamar Chase last year because he sat for a season.
Yeah, same with Parsons too.
Like, hey, man, look, no, don't get me wrong. There are certain analysts that I do listen to, and I do appreciate their takes and the opinions and the thoughts that they're able to give. But I don't base any of my stuff off
Okay.
of what they're saying. I go based on my own eyes.
So back to the question.
Oh wait, that explains why you don't do it then, because you got lion eyes. So,
Oh, hashtag.
yeah,
Boom.
I would stick to their analysis as well.
Dude, SP's coming with the heat on you tonight, son.
You started it.
Fuck this guy.
SP's coming with the heat on you, son.
Back to answering the question.
Who are you looking forward to?
Who are you looking for?
I told you I don't have one. There are
You
a
can't
lot
give
of
me
guys.
one
No,
guy-
because there are a lot of guys in this draft that I am really looking forward to
Okay.
seeing.
Well, tell me one.
One out of the lot. Yeah, come on.
I'll give you two because I think they're being so underrated this
That's
year.
what I'm asking
Yeah.
for.
I'll give you
Yeah.
two because they're so underrated this year. But this is not where my eyes are really. My eyes are focused on everything I said prior to this, honestly. But I really do think, depending on where oh my God, Breece Hall
Yes.
and Kenneth Walker III go,
running backs.
They could be bell cow weapons. But it's going to depend on. I actually like Buffalo taking Brees Hall. And I think he becomes their 1-back, 3-down back instantly. Kenneth Walker, I actually would like to see go to a Arizona and do kind of the Edmonds Connor thing, because I don't think James Conner can handle a full work season. Or I would like to see him go to Chicago. And I say that because for whatever reason, they don't seem to want to give Khalil Herbert the opportunity, even though he showed when Montgomery was out that he could be the dude. Kenneth Walker maybe there with Montgomery, something like that could be really, really fun to watch and see what happens there. I don't think Kenneth Walker is ready to be a 3-down back right away. I think he can be, but I don't think that would benefit him in the long run. Maybe even like in Atlanta with him, with Mariota would be really good.
They need.
I would actually be really happy to.
They need a running back.
Now that I think about it just a little bit more, I think him in Atlanta would be really good, and he could go 3 downs there. But those two, I'm actually really kind of looking to. There's a couple other running backs that I'm going to keep to myself right now, and kind of see where they go before I talk about them. But I think out of all the draft positions, I think running backs being the most undervalued this year, and I think there's a lot of talent
Absolutely.
there. So that's where I'll give you those two names to answer your question, Pinky.
I don't think you have any names, do you, Aaron?
Just Willis.
Willis.
Yeah,
That's one of the most interesting.
Malik?
Yeah.
You're going with Malik?
Who
Yeah.
pulls the trigger?
I'm with you.
Panthers,
Well, yeah, Panthers. I think.
Steelers, Saints. Now they have two draft picks. Do they trade up?
I think
to
if
get
he
him?
goes to Carolina or New Orleans, his career could be ruined right away. Unfortunate, but true.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think Pittsburgh takes him for the simple fact that I think Trubisky, they think can really be a long-term deal.
I think Trubisky will do Pittsburgh.
And they don't want to be the next Green, but not doing anything. And he said he wanted a mobile kind of quarterback that can throw the ball. He got in Trubisky. I think he's going to ride with him for a couple years and see what happens.
I think Trubisky easily goes over 4,000 yards.
You and me are on the same page. This guy does not like it.
Yeah.
But Nagy's trash. And we've seen what Nagy does to people.
I agree.
And Trubisky put up good numbers with Nagy.
It's true.
And no weapons.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there. I don't think he goes to those. I don't think Pittsburgh takes him. He's going to have to go to the right situation for him. He needs a little bit of development. I've been on him since before the last college season started. I told you guys about him. Keep an eye out for this dude. Season was a little up and down, kind of cost him some draft stock possibly, but I'm with you. Really excited to see where he goes, but I'm also really scared to see where he goes.
And by the way, Tua was fourth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not first. Sorry. I told you I couldn't quite remember.
But that's because
still,
it's behind Rodgers and
But
Brady.
think about that.
And, yeah.
People say Tua can't throw downfield, and he was the 4th most completions over 20 yards last season, and now he's added weapons finally.
Can I give you the last strict on that, though? He
Please.
barely threw enough over 20 to qualify, though.
Okay.
So he didn't take a lot of shots, but when he did, he was very accurate.
Okay.
So
I like that, though, because I've been saying Tua can do that if given the opportunity.
Sure.
And I kept saying I think Flores was holding him back. But like Pinky said, he has no more excuses now in my book.
he played just fine this last season.
I didn't think he played bad.
No,
I think Flores was holding him back, though. I really do. And I also said, keep an eye out for him. That hip injury is nasty. Bo Jackson had to retire because of it. Give him another year off season, recovery, physical therapy, everything to get back to where I think he can be really good. And I think he was underrated. But again, this is his show me year. And if he doesn't, he has to play better than he did last year for them to want to keep him.
They're going to move on if he doesn't.
He can't just have last year's numbers and hope to stick around.
Listen, if they move on from him, some other team is going to definitely.
I would take Tua over Baker in a heartbeat.
I would too, actually. Tua doesn't make mistakes. I think that's the other thing that people are really not, he wasn't going out there. He wasn't throwing picks. He wasn't fumbling the ball. He wasn't turning over.
He's got a little more wiggle than
Yeah.
Baker, I think. And I think he's a better thrower of the football, in Pinky's words.
He's not a chucker. And also, speaking of Mariota, I am pretty excited to watch him play again and start.
I'm
I'm not
really
excited about that team.
I'm really bummed
but-
that he's not going to have like any weapons around
He
him.
has,
Dude,
he has
if-
like no weapon.
if Mariota went to the Steelers, that would have been a different story.
Look, I called that. I said the Steelers should go grab Mariota or Trubisky. I also said the Broncos should look at both of them, and then they went and got Russell Wilson. So I, can't be mad about that. There's a few other teams I think should have been doing the same thing, and they didn't.
You know what actually was things a bit ironic with that is I think Trubisky should have went to Atlanta, and I think Mariota should have went to the Steelers. I think those would have been better fits for what they do.
I think this.
Atlanta's way more geared toward pocket passing, and if Steelers get back to their roots, they want a mobile quarterback. So
Arthur Smith being the head coach and what he did to turn around Tannehill's career is a blueprint for Trubisky and Mariota. I mean, I would put all three of those dudes as basically a carbon copy of each other. Mariota and Trubisky are just 6 years younger, 5 years younger, somewhere in that ballpark. So I think they're going to do really well. The problem with Mariota, unfortunately, is I think without the weapons around him, he may not look as good as he actually is.
They have no running back. They have no wide receivers right now.
So go back. I think Kenneth Walker III actually would be a great pick for Atlanta.
Sure.
They're going to have to take him early in the second, I think.
Absolutely.
I think him and Brees Hall go late first, early second, depending on if somebody moves up slightly to grab him in the end of the first.
I don't see any running back going in the first. Sure.
I could honestly, if Buffalo's smart, they would move up to the back end of the first and grab Brees Hall and not question it. Give up a third, a fourth, and flop first, second, or whatever you want to do. I think he has exactly what they need in the backfield. And that puts them over the top. And that's what it's all about, right? F them picks, baby. Do what you need to do to be the best you can be right now. And if that involves getting a rookie running back for 5 years on that salary, dude, you take that in a heartbeat.
yeah, Falcons wide receivers are trash.
Now,
Pretty
Real
bad. Yeah.
we'll see what they do in free agency. Arthur Smith is not a bad play caller.
It's kind of past that.
I mean, not free agency. I'm sorry, the draft. I meant the draft. Sorry,
Okay.
in the draft. And Arthur
you
Smith is
think-
not a bad head
You
coach.
think you're
He can-
taking a wide receiver at 8?
I would. Dude, Patterson played great.
Think about this. Think about this, Pinky. Jameson,
That's
Garrett Wilson.
Jameson's a luxury at 8
Why? Because of his injury?
because he won't play for half this season at least.
I don't know about that, man. A lot of dudes are coming back from ACLs in 6 to 8 months.
He won't play for at least half the season.
I bet he's back by week 4.
No way.
Yep. You've seen the video of him already skipping
Dude,
down the field, right?
I did. He literally was out in the championship game. He's
Dude,
not coming back before
You don't
week 8.
skip after an ACL tear unless you're getting close to being able to run. And if he's able to run in the next 2 months, that means, honest to God, by training camp, he could be ready to cut. If you're ready to cut by training camp, you only need another 6 to 8 weeks before you're ready to go. That's week 4. That's the only reason I say it. When I saw him skipping, I was like, my mind was blown because he wasn't just light skipping. He was full jump skipping.
Yes, he was jump skipping.
That was insane to me. 2.5 months off of an ACL repair to be doing that is absurd. So at 8, you grab one of those two dudes. You get Kenneth Walker in the second. You move a couple other pieces. They could do some things possibly. Now, is Atlanta smart enough to make some moves like that? I don't know. Now, here's the real question. Who are you excited to see come out of the draft?
I love Trevor Penning.
I like that.
I love him. He's nasty. He's mean. He will put you in the dirt.
Like I said, I'm excited to see these O-lines go. Where do you think would be best fit for him? Because he's going to go early. He's going to go, what, first 15 probably?
20. I got him first 20. I would not be surprised if he ended up with the Eagles.
That would be insane for the Eagles. They already have a good offensive line.
Decent.
I didn't say great.
Decent. Yeah.
I said good. But that gives Miles Sanders a chance. That gives Jalen Hurts a chance. That could open up Devontae Smith possibly. I mean, Eagles have some weapons. They just need some protection.
Sure.
Goddard is looking like he's moving forward.
Sure.
If Jalen Hurts has a little bit more time
Trust
to throw
me.
the football, that would be dangerous.
The NFC least is Dallas and Philly in my book.
That would be dangerous. I like that. I like that.
So I like Trevor Penning a lot. I do like Jameson Williams. And I know he's got the ACL. I know he's skipped jumping or whatever. Whatever team gets him is getting a verified superstar at wide receiver. He would go top 10 if he wasn't hurt.
Yeah,
He was number one
Yeah.
before he got hurt.
I would probably agree.
Over Wilson, over London, he'd go number
probably
one.
agree with you.
So
All right, let's wrap up our NFL. We had some craziness today. We got to wrap up the show this evening. We gotta put a little bow on it for
a
today.
lot of craziness.
Yeah,
a lot of craziness.
Look, people, I'm going to look directly into the camera. We don't do technology. All right? But what we do is give you amazing takes and thoughts when it comes to sports, nonsense, and drinking whiskey.
We've got a great producer.
Our producer's amazing.
We pay him nothing.
But I think even our producer would say he's not a technological master.
He's close though. He's a smart guy.
I'm pretty good, man. It's when stupid things break that shouldn't. That's what pisses me off. All
I
right?
think he's a pretty good guy.
I think he's amazing. Compared to me, he's goddamn Einstein.
If anybody is an NFL fan and they like draft conversation, should be getting a conversation Sunday evening with our draft expert, Andy Tilton.
We're going to call Andy our draft expert now.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
I love Andy.
He's our Jen Psaki.
I didn't think we were going draft expert though with Andy there.
You know, when he talks about guys, it's funny. We'll talk about guys. Now, he is not a draft expert when it comes to his fantasy football team, but he is a pretty good judge of talent.
I feel like you just say that because you don't watch college football. So when he starts talking, you don't know anybody he's talking about.
This fucking guy.
Hey, that wasn't trying to be a low blow. That was just honesty, kid.
That's the worst part. But
Right?
yeah. Yeah. He's just shooting facts.
I'm just saying, you almost despise college football.
Well, I hate when they hype up the game and then it's 70 to 14.
I'm sitting there watching all day Saturday.
The thing that I hate the most is quarterbacks who go out there and have these killer seasons because they play absolute garbage teams and then they come into the NFL and,
What's crazy about that, though, is there's been quarterbacks who do that and then come out in the NFL and ball out. And then there's been other quarterbacks who come out and they're just trash.
yeah.
I will be the first one to admit I'm 50-50 when it comes to quarterbacks, I feel like. I just cannot seem to really figure out how to pin it down. And the NFL is even worse than me, in my opinion. They have an even worse idea of how to figure it out. And I think a lot of it has to do with what I've talked about before. Square peg, round hole.
Well, I think that's the biggest problem.
I said Lamar Jackson was going to be a beast as a quarterback. Somebody just had to do what he does best. You laughed at me when I said that.
He's a really good running back. I'll give you that.
I mean, he was what?
Dude doesn't win a Heisman for
20th
just
in
running.
rushing. So
He's really good at running the football.
it's one of those things when you're that dangerous, then they got to play up a little bit closer. And when you have a rocket of an arm too, it makes you.
Yo, let's
He
be
can
honest.
throw. He can
Quick
throw.
side note before we end.
Yeah.
They've got a decently high pick this year.
They do.
They could add a wide receiver to go with the guy they picked up last year.
They're picking a pass rusher.
They better pick a wide receiver.
They're picking a.
I'm telling you right now, if they don't pick a wide receiver, Lamar may not re-sign with them. I'm not kidding. If they don't put some weapons around him, he may not re-sign. There's a reason he hasn't done a contract yet.
Who they need to hire is a strength and conditioning coach. So for their running backs don't go out for the season before it even starts. All right.
I mean, think about it. They got Dobbins and Edwards coming back next year. They have Andrews. You put
Bateman's good.
that's what I'm saying. You put another wide receiver alongside Bateman. You make Hollywood your third.
Don't the Ravens only have 4 picks though?
They've got a first though,
Sure. I mean, but
and it's not like they have to. Dude, Lamar plays the whole season to make the playoffs. I think everybody's pretty on board with that.
For sure.
his backup played pretty.
I'm
damn
not
well.
saying Huntley didn't play good,
So,
but he was rookie or second year?
Second year.
So I think Huntley could start for some teams.
Sure.
I think he's that good. And given an opportunity, he could get even better.
We can give 5 teams real quick.
I give you that.
Yeah. So
But again, they didn't have any weapons for even him to work with,
sure.
really.
No, that's true.
Bateman was a rookie. And when you can double the rookie and then you double Andrews and you say, go ahead and try to get it to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you don't have a running game. I told you coming out, I think Dobbins is better than Zeke. I think he is that talented. Now, got hurt. We didn't get to see it. I think he was going to break out last year. He's going to break out this year if he's healthy. He is going to break
Sure.
out.
Sure.
You get a London, you get an Olave or somebody to go alongside Bateman. Scary, man.
No way.
Scary.
They do that. No way.
It's because they're not smart. But on that note, we'll be ramping up Sundays. We're going to do some NFL discussion. Pinky and Andy knows his stuff. I'm just giving Andy a hard time. Andy knows his stuff. I love talking college players with Andy. One of the few guys who I can go back and forth with names and really discuss what we're thinking about. So if you get a chance, tune into Andy and Pinky on Sunday nights. I'm going to try to jump on. We'll see how that schedule works out.
Baby.
I would like to be a part of it, but I'm not promising anything. And we'll be ramping up NFL discussion more and more over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be NBA and NFL heavy over the next couple of weeks.
Vegas, baby. Vegas.
For sure. For sure, it's going to be NBA and NFL heavy. Cody, we'll throw in some NHL at the end of the month. Love you, buddy. On that note, final thoughts, Pinky?
Vegas, baby.
Vegas,
I'm all
baby.
Vegas.
SP?
Nope. I'm good.
That's why we love this guy. On that note, as always, spend that time with your family, your friends, your loved ones. Enjoy the time you have. We're out. Peace.